Thank you for joining us today here on Desertwood Days. I am your host, Kathy Blaze, and today I am here with Mr. Isaac Joel. Welcome.
Thank you, Kathy. It's really great to be here. I've been really excited all week to come here and to speak with you.
Wonderful. I'm digging that hair.
Thank you. I got a couple of different looks going on here. I'm a very hairy person, so I could grow an entire beard out within 2 weeks. You give me 2 weeks and this thing will come out. But right now I'm growing this out for potentially a role, a character that I'm writing for a project in the near future.
Well, it's cool. I'm feeling it. So, Joe, Isaac, you are a filmmaker.
A little bit of everything: a filmmaker, photographer, editor, a writer, a little bit of an actor. Oh. Yeah, I'm a trade of it all. I love being part of every single aspect of the process. I'm very hands-on.
Is there one area that you're more passionate about?
Definitely. I mean, filmmaking kind of covers all of that. With the writing, the editing, the producing, the shots, the cinematography. So I kind of definitely take on the director hat naturally with every project that I do.
Okay. What was it that inspired? I mean, what inspired you to get into this industry?
It's a loaded question. What doesn't inspire all of us to get into this industry? It's always books, art, paintings, animation, movies, characters, anything really. For me, it was, I've told this story a million times, but when I was little and I saw the original Spider-Man trilogy, the first two in particular, which were directed by Sam Raimi, and his background before those movies was horror. He was a horror director. He was known for producing horror movies. And then you get a mind like that into this type of franchise and this type of character, and you get a whole new twist, a whole new look, the practicals of it. It was a different time. Everything today is all CG.
How old were you at that point?
I must have been 4 years old.
You were just a little,
4 years old when I decided I want to do that. When I didn't decide I want to be an actor. I decided I want to be a director. I want to be the mind that puts all of that together.
You know what? I think when you have it no matter what age you are. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we forget that we have it.
Yeah.
Until later in life. That, you know what? I've been doing this since I was 4 years old. Mm-hmm. Just didn't realize. I may have been doing it a little different.
Yeah.
But I started doing that way back then. We forget that because we grow up, we start doing the 8 to 5 type of things, and we forget about that craft, that art, that skill that you have. Some people do. And then they go back to it as an adult because something triggers it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a movie, art, book, as you stated. Mm-hmm. But I can understand you saying you have that when you were 4, because we do.
Yeah.
We enjoy life more when we're younger.
We really do. And I think a part of me, although I look like a man and I am aging every day, I still hold part of that essence of my childhood, and I never forget every single thing that I did and experienced that led me down to the road and the path that I'm on today. I was constantly ridiculed and bullied in elementary school, high school, and even today, even yesterday, I was ridiculed all over online. And it's
next time they bully you, call me, okay?
It's something that I have to get used to, because this is the career that I've chosen. This is the life that I love, and I'm not doing this to please other people. Sure. I didn't decide to write a script to please other people. I wrote it because it was something I was feeling at the time. Sure. It was something that I was going through, and I wanted to put that on page for me. I have no problem watching my own projects and enjoying them.
How do you feel? Do you enjoy watching yourself?
I don't, not myself. There's a difference. If I had to watch myself, I think that'd be a little strange. But I do enjoy watching my films and watching those actors take on the script and seeing how they interpreted my words and the blueprint that we had.
Seeing your work really being acted out.
I really do love yes, being part of it, but also taking a step back and just like letting go.
Are there certain qualities that make a film great for you?
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say no, because if I said that there were certain qualities that made a film great to me, that would suggest that if other movies don't do that, then they're not as good. And I am a huge advocate of watching everything. I love watching everything. I'm a huge fan of TV, of movies, good writing, bad writing. I think the appreciation,
you can find some appreciation in all of whether you think they're bad.
Exactly.
I was telling someone from another show that I was watching this film that I felt didn't have any substance to it. But I did love that it was black and white. I loved that angle that they used, the black and white. But I didn't care for the movie itself. But I found something that I loved in it.
Absolutely. The art is for the artist.
Yes.
Going back to that, it's why would I judge and over critique? There's obviously, constructive criticism is a good thing, but there's also crossing a line and a boundary. I think when you go overboard and really want to tear down that person for what they've built.
That's a different lane right there.
Nobody realizes that there's hundreds of crews on set, people behind the scenes, and then those people have families and children, and there's a bigger picture, and nobody really realizes that. Yeah. And I see the bigger picture a lot.
So you also act. You're an actor also.
I have done a little bit slight acting, and I am kind of gearing up into this next year, into this next phase of my life to do more acting. I do a lot of my own writing for my own short films, and like I said, I cast other people to do it. But I definitely am taking notes, and I appreciate the actor side of it all, because they really have to transform themselves and adapt and become someone that they're not. They're a master of disguise.
That is true. And I, as an actress myself, I appreciate you saying that too.
I noticed you were on set the other day.
Yes. We have to value each person's role in a creation, whether it's the videographer, the camera guy, the cinematographer. We have to value each of those roles. Right. And sometimes we take for granted that there's other people helping us to get where we are, helping us to do the job that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you said that. I'm going to save this one to after we come back to, because I know you brought us some media, and I don't want to ask this question yet. Okay. But where are you originally from?
Originally, I was born in California, Ventura, but I was raised out here in Phoenix. My parents moved out here when I was really, really young. I come from a big family, a blended family. I am the youngest of 4 of my blooded siblings, but I actually do, plus my stepbrothers, I have 9 brothers and 1 sister out of all of that.
Big family.
Yeah.
So, is there any other family members that's in the industry?
Not at all. No. Not at all. No. I am I believe I'm kind of the only one and the first one on my side of the family, on my immediate side of the family to really be into this. I have a cousin that lives out in California that does professional makeup in the industry. She's been on many sets for NCIS and all those other Criminal Minds type TV shows. And other projects as well. But as far as my siblings, I would say are way more musically talented than me. I envy that side of them, but I am the one that has this creativity.
Are artistic.
Yes, in their own ways. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, I guess, how would you describe your style of filmmaking?
That goes back to what makes the best qualities, in a film. I wouldn't. It's hard to put a pin on my style. I've been told from an early age that I'm going to be, or I remind them of a young Spielberg, of a Christopher Nolan, a David Fincher. But I never ever, even when I was younger, wanted to be like someone or wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be the next someone else. I kind
Right.
of love, again, a little bit of everything. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to, my first short film right now that I have on Amazon, I would describe it as a drama thriller if I
Okay.
really had to put a genre on it. And then the next one that I'm working on right now is more in the science fiction realm. And then I have other scripts that deal with criminals and police
Mm.
and different themes and different corners of human beings. And so I'm really in it for the stories that we tell
Okay.
for
Sure.
individuals.
So with you, the filmmaker, you're in a lot of areas. You do the
Yeah,
writing, producing. You also cast and all. You do
I
all that
do.
stuff
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, I do.
Okay. And is that because you don't like to let go?
Um, I don't have a lot of people in my corner. I don't have, I would say, a team. I'm sort of a
Okay.
one man
You're a one man show.
army. I
Oh,
am, and that's a little bit due to the bad experiences I've had in this field the last
oh,
couple of years. I do have trust issues with letting people in that close to me,
okay.
but I am still open minded about the collaboration. When I
Uh,
do bring on my actors, I do ask them, do you have any issues with the script? Do you have anything you would do differently or want to add? I'm not, this is mine and you do it the way that I want you to do it. It's a blueprint, it's a skeleton, and
sure.
it's for you to
Sure.
I'm giving you an opportunity to shine in the light, not
Right.
me.
So we were talking about your style, and as you stated, you don't really want to say you have a style.
Because
But
I always want to try something new. I want to dabble into every genre. I want to be able to do a horror. I want to be
mm,
able to do a musical. I want to be able to do everything.
sure, sure. So I know you brought some media
hmm
today for us to take a look at.
hmm
Can you tell me a little bit about that before we watch it?
Yeah, I couldn't really decide what I wanted to bring in, what I wanted to show, whether I wanted to show a clip from my projects or maybe a sneak peek from this new project I'm working on. So I kind of found the middle ground for
Okay.
that. I would kind of describe this as a sizzle reel
Oh,
for all of a little bit of my old and a little bit of my new best projects.
okay. So it'll give us a
Give
idea
you a
of
big
it.
idea.
Give us a big idea of what your style has been and where you've gone.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at it. Awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Look, I
Thank
could
you.
see myself just sitting there watching. I'm like, I want more. I want
Uh-huh.
more.
There's a lot missing in there. I didn't show a lot of the best stuff because I think I want you to go and see those individual
Of
projects, and you
course.
will take something from all of them.
Of course. What advice would you give to an aspiring filmmaker?
Mm. That's always the question, isn't it? Um, I think advice as more so experience I would give them is that there's going to be a lot of people that will knock you down, that will try their best to want to see you fail.
Yeah.
And it's your job to remind yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I here? And it's the love of the art. It's the love of creation. I have friends who went to college to be a nurse, and then they met me and completely decided, I want to be a filmmaker now. I want to leave that whole life behind. I want to change everything. And I didn't even pressure him or tell him what to do. I it's his path. Your path is your own.
Sure.
Your journey is your own, and people will be here, such as myself, to support you and be there for you as long as you want us to be. But make your journey your own, and enjoy the process all the way.
Right. You know what? Sometimes people just want to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just want to voice their opinion. They really don't want you to even say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we want to speak on it when they really don't even want that.
Right.
But you're right. It's their journey to take,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't be a part of that. They have to make that decision on their own. But I like that. What would you tell the young Joel about filmmaking? If there was one thing that you could tell him that would have made things a lot easier for him, what would you tell him?
It's a good question. I would tell young Isaac, it's similar to what I just said right now, because I went through a lot as a child. I went through physical abuse. I went through mental abuse. I was diagnosed at a young age with PTSD, with everything that I had seen growing up at a young age. And I would just tell myself that, none of that matters, is again, as long as you remind yourself who it is that you want to be, and you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it, kid. It's gonna be a slow burn, but everything's gonna work out in the end.
Well, you know what I love with all that you're saying you went through. I love to see you out here creating,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't let anyone stop you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is awesome. When you're going to create a film, do you think about what the audience might want?
Mm-hmm. I a little bit of yes, a little bit of no. Again, going back, it's the art is for the artist, but you do want to put your audience through a ride. You do want them to enjoy themselves. You do want them to take something out of it. If they hated the plot, at least they're gonna love the visuals. At least they're gonna love this or the acting or that. And I would say, repeat the question again.
when you're creating a film, telling a story, you're putting it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking about, hey, what would this audience like to see in this film?
I think filmmaking is meant to be a roller coaster. I remember back when Martin Scorsese said that Marvel movies are just a roller coaster, just a theme park, and just recently I think Ridley Scott also said something against, Marvel movies as well, which, you can have your opinion on that, but I who doesn't love going to a theme park?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't love getting on a roller coaster when you have no idea where that roller coaster is going to take you, and then you get off and you're reminding yourself, oh my god, I was so scared.
Just don't get on one after eating the candy apple.
Exactly. Right, and then you throw up everywhere. There's times where you feel like you're gonna fall off, but you get off and you're like, wow, it was worth the ride. It was worth it, being in that long line. So I think when it comes to me, I want to put my audience on a roller coaster, and a roller coaster that they wouldn't necessarily expect. You think that it may be going this way, but it's actually going that way. You think it might be about this. It's not about that at all. It's actually about that. Oh. But then again, art is open for interpretation for everybody.
Sure. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Well, right now I am finishing up writing several scripts, and then I hope to have those films shot out in the public way before then. That way, I think a lot of people will have a good sense of the kind of filmmaker that I'm capable of. And I'm also right now working on a new podcast that we just released. We only have the first 2 episodes out right now. It's called The Cam Goat Show, where...
What is that again?
The Cam Goat Show, where we go on and we go to a lot of advanced screenings for movies with the press. And so I get to see a lot of stuff a week in advance, maybe 2 or few days. And so I'm using my resources to kind of be a critic. But again, what we talked about is not crossing that boundaries, is appreciating the art form.
But you are a movie critic?
I'm pursuing being a critic. I would say within the next 5 years, I hope to accomplish and to be in a good place with being a critic, and also with my scripts and my acting.
Okay.
I don't see myself. I think there was a point in time when I really needed and wanted to leave Phoenix because it was just kind of getting really bad out here for me, and I was very close to moving to Los Angeles, but then last minute decided to kind of stay and continue my venture out here. I think there's a lot of work out here to be done, a lot that needs to be said.
And you know what, one thing I like to say is, like, keep doing what you're doing, because you know what, we're seeing a lot of positive things coming about out here. And I'm sure things are going to get better for you.
Yeah.
Where can our audience find you?
You can find me on Instagram at It's Isaac Joel, ISAACJOEL. And if you go on there, you'll find everything that you need to. My Linktree link is in there, and that in itself has all the links to YouTube, Spotify, where you can listen to our podcast, my Facebook. You can message me, email me. My contact information is all in there. I welcome everybody to collaborate, to meet. You know, we're all friends. This is a community, and we should all back each other up.
That's true. Well, it was a pleasure having you here today, Isaac.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I really appreciate the opportunity. This was my second time being interviewed. My first time, I would say about 18. I just quit my job. I just got into this field, and a wonderful woman gave me a great opportunity to talk live on the radio. I remember seeing videos from my school, my high school that I just graduated from. They all stopped class to listen in on me speak about filmmaking and everything like that. So it's really awesome to get that support from friends, family, and everybody like that. And thank you so much for giving me my second opportunity.
Such a pleasure, and we look forward to more from Isaac Joel. And thank you for joining us today here at Desertwood Days, and we'll catch you next time.